Hello and welcome back to another home update video. My name is Ego, this is my channel, and today we're going to be working on my entryway, which I have put off for a very long time. I just kept postponing working on that entryway because it's such a hard one to design for me. I had no idea what I was going to do with it. It's been pretty plain for a very long time since I've moved into the apartment. I haven't really done anything to it at all. We always just put our shoes down. I had a clothing rack sitting in it at some point, but that's about all that I've done to it. And it's because coming up with ideas for how I want it to look has been really hard. Number one, it is the least lit place in the apartment. No natural light goes there, like right now, right? I'm sitting in the apartment. There's a lot of natural light coming in, and there is light in that area. It's what's behind me, but because there's no natural light coming in, playing around with colors in it has been a little difficult. It is also really narrow and kind of corners around itself into the apartment. So I've just been putting it off for a really long time because I didn't want to think about it, but today is the day and we're going to get into it. Because of how plain the entire corner is, I knew that I wanted color for sure, but I wanted to make sure that I was using a color that would complement the rest of the apartment, the theme of the rest of the apartment, even though the entryway is entirely separate from the apartment because of the way the apartment is built, but I still wanted it to feel cohesive in a way. So color was one thing I was thinking of when I was coming up with the design. I also knew that I wanted storage in that space, storage for not just shoes, but also like little knickknacks that we usually throw around the apartment. But because that place is tiny, I didn't want it to be storage that would feel clunky, so it couldn't be anything really big. And art, I knew I wanted art in that space because I mean, what else could you put in a tiny entryway anyway? And as soon as I put all those things together the way I pictured them in my head and I saw how cohesive it looked, I instantly became excited about actually working on the entryway, and it stopped being this thing that was looming over me. So yes, I highly recommend using some kind of application that can help you put your ideas together. Maybe go on Pinterest, put some colors in, put some things in, see what is out there to kind of get your gears spinning a bit. I use Canva for a lot of my own ideating and vision boarding and all that type of stuff. And I have a pro account, but I'm pretty sure everything that I do, except for the ability to remove the background off of some things, you should probably be able to do the same thing with a regular free version of the app. But that is not the point. We are working on the entryway, so I'm going to get started. Do you see what I mean by it is narrow? It really, really is a narrow space, but that will not deter me. I'm going to make this place work and I'm going to make it look beautiful. So I decided I'm going to split this into 3 steps. I'm going to work on the walls first, and then I'm going to do furniture, and then I will do decor and design. I feel like that's a good way to stack up the work. And I just hope to God, this is the wallpaper that I got off Amazon. I will link everything that I use that isn't old or thrifted in the description box. But this I got off of Amazon, and I'm hoping to God that I got enough to cover the part of the walls that I wanted to cover. So wish me luck.
Degrees and sunny, just the way I always wanted. 더 바랄 것도 없어. 지금 이대로면 좋아. 따스한 햇볕이 가득 담은 sand river. The bluebirds peacefully sing along. 저기 Eiffel Tower shines from anywhere 아름다워.
I think I've done as much as I'm going to do today. I put up all the wallpaper that I got, and I think you can tell from the gaps that I have all over that I was right. I didn't order enough wallpaper, and I realized that pretty quickly. So I just went ahead and ordered an additional row and a half because I think that's how much I'm going to need this time. I may even have a little left over, but it's better to have left over than to not have enough. And I put up the wall decals, which are these decorations that you have ahead of me, in front of me. And I also mapped out where I want the little entryway cabinets and the painting that I want to go there to be. And as you saw, I went ahead and put up one of the paintings already. That one I was just testing it out to see if it would fit where I intended to put it. So I just ended up putting it up anyway. Because this part of the wall isn't done yet, I can't like attach this entryway right here to the wall yet, but I will do that tomorrow when the wallpaper arrives, and we'll pick up from there. I'm so tired. Right, we are done. Honestly, very few things feel as good as having a creative project, having a vision for something, and then seeing it just come together exactly how you pictured, like close to what you pictured, because I think it's very difficult to get the end of a project to look exactly the way you pictured it in your head. There are some things that just won't work, but this is one of those things where like everything that I tried seemed to work together. There was one thing that I got that was on the inspiration board, the concept that I made that I ended up not putting, and that was the hanging light, the pendant lights. At the end of the day, it just felt a little off because of how small it was. It wasn't as true to size. I'm going to leave a review of that, by the way, but it wasn't as true to size as what the seller pictured on their site, number one. Number two, I just felt like it would look better in the kitchen after all. So all those factors put together, I just decided not to put the pendant light. But what I did do was I changed the light bulbs in the entryway and the hallway of the apartment from daylight bulbs into soft light bulbs, and that brought the warmth back into the space that I was looking for. And I don't know if you can tell from the videos, but if you look at this area in contrast to the rest of the apartment where the white bulbs still are, you can see the difference that way. But when you're just looking in this area, especially on camera, it's very difficult to show. I tried to film it in a way that it would show, but it just wasn't working. So that was one thing that I had planned to add that I ended up not going through with. And I love how the wallpaper brings the entire space together. I thought because of how dark the wallpaper was that it was going to make an already small space even smaller. But usually when I'm working with really small spaces, I use big pieces because for some reason that I don't know yet, because I am not an actual interior designer, using big pieces in small spaces can make a small space look a little bigger than it actually is. So it feels like it would be natural to look for smaller things when you're trying to work with a small space, but don't let that stop you from going for big pieces. Sometimes making a big piece of decor or furniture the center point of a small space can make the space seem a little more expansive than it is. That's what I've noticed and what I've seen from some of the research that I did. But most of all, the space is not just better looking now, it's also really functional. There's a lot of storage with the cabinets that were added for shoes and for some art supply, which is things that I usually have around the house anyway, that I think are better hidden because I like organized clutter. I don't actually want things to just be everywhere. I want the place to feel lived in, but not like messy. So there's some organization there. There is one thing left that I didn't get to, and that is the breaker box. I'm going to buy a piece of art to cover it up because it hurts my eyes to actually look at it. I'm looking at it right now and it hurts to look, but this is the Entryway makeover. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.
Change is constant, learning to flow. All the unknown, lemons thrown.